What is up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA. This is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode number 15, and it's UFC Vegas 49. I'm going to be joined by three great cappers, three great guys. I mean, this is going to be a fire show, boys. I hope you're ready for it. It's Makhachev versus Green. I can't wait for that fight. Without further ado, let me introduce my guest because I want to get to these picks. These Lambo plays are going to be absolute fire. Let me bring in my first guest. It is none other than Timothy Troiano. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, Mike? How are you?
Are you ready for this Makhachev Green card here?
Oh, I can't wait for this fight.
Bro, I can't wait, man. This fight is gonna be a banger. I have a good feeling. Let me bring in my second guest here. It is my buddy here, Shawn Orr. What's up, Shawn?
Look at what up? How everybody doing tonight? Nice Lamborghini, bro.
You like it, right? I'm chilling in my Lambo. I don't know if anybody noticed in chat, but no one commented yet. Oh, there we go. There's some comments. Yeah, let me go on to my third and final guest here. It is none other than Manpreet, better known as MMA Lock of the Night. What's up, Manpreet? Thank you for joining us today.
No worries, man. I've been waiting for the Lambo podcast call up for a while now. Glad to finally hop on with you guys. Sketchy slate we got ahead of us, but I'm looking forward to breaking it down and trying to find those Lambo plays. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, man, definitely a sketchy slate, but man, there's no slate that doesn't go past us without giving those big Lambo plays, man. We are digging deep and finding those Lambo plays. So yeah, let's just jump right into it, man, without skipping a beat here. First fight of the night, Victor Moreno going up against Carlos Hernandez. I will kick it off to you, Tim. What do you got here for your Lambo play?
All right, I think this fight goes the distance, and I think it could be a little bit close at times, so I'm going to do my classic split decision on Hernandez for 8-1.
All right. I can't argue with that whatsoever. This is probably going to be a close fight. Shawn, what do you got here for your Lambo?
Yeah, for me, I don't have the same access as Tim does, so I can't be a split decision masochist like this man. But from what I can tell, I honestly only like the money line. So I hate to do it, but this is going to be my pass tonight. I don't see anything that's plus 400 and above that I like. So I'm going to pass it off to you guys.
Hey, sometimes passing is better than giving these folks, a line that you don't believe has value in it. So I don't mind passing. I'll let you pass here, Shawn. But this don't keep on doing this to me, please. Lock. What do you got here, brother?
I agree with Tim that I do see this fight going the distance. But if we are looking for a Lambo play, this is kind of going against my prediction. I'm taking Hernandez to win by decision, but for Lambo play, Moreno by sub at plus 500 could be an intriguing spot. If there is a finish, I think that's the main way that it comes. Moreno obviously gets takedown a ton, but does pretty well off of his back in terms of staying active or creating scrambles, trying to stay ahead of his opponents there. So maybe he snatches up a sub. I don't really like any of the props on the Hernandez side, right? I don't like him to win inside the distance. If he wins, it's more than likely going to be by decision, and that's currently sitting at plus 180, but that doesn't qualify as a Lambo or play from my understanding. So we're going to go with Moreno sub plus 500. Am I taking the shot? No. If I were to take the shot on any prop at Lambo odds, that's the one I go with.
Awesome. Yeah, I won't blame you on that one. For me, I kind of agree with you guys. Like, I think this fight goes to decision. I have a big play on actually, the over 2.5. The fight goes to decision. I also have a play on Hernandez, pretty big. But the one thing I will say here, and, I watch a lot of tape on these guys because they're Dana White Contender Series guys, so I tape them a bunch. Moreno gets taken down very, very easily. So if Hernandez wants takedowns, he can get them. The other thing I will say that I digged up is Moreno has his only loss in his professional careers by rear naked choke. In the amateurs, he's lost 3 other times by rear naked choke. Now take a guess what Hernandez's favorite submission is. It's the rear naked choke. Like, he has a ton of them on his ledger. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna give the people a submission prop on Hernandez at plus 475. If he wants takedowns, he can get them. Moreno kicks a bunch, so he can catch a leg and get a takedown. And on the ground, like Moreno, I know he's decent, I guess I can say, but he does give up his back a lot. Like, I've watched a lot of tape on him. He gives up his back. And Hernandez is actually a really good grappler down there. So I'm just going to go with the sub plus 475. It's not huge value, but I just don't mind the shot on it. Moving along, we will go to fight number 2. It is Ramiz Brahimaj going up against Michael Gilmore. That is Shawn Orr's favorite name, Ramiz Brahimaj.
Brahimaj.
There you go.
Brahimaj.
So what do you got there, Shawn, for your Lambo play?
Yeah, so this fight's really interesting to me because I'm not super high on Ramiz at all, but he is fighting Michael Gilmore. So I got two ideas here for Lambo plays, and I think that there's some value on both lines. I think the obvious one with Ramiz is the KO line at plus 950. I don't think he has much of a shot of submitting Gilmore, even though folks are steaming that line. I just think it's kind of a foolish way to play this fight personally. But if you had to do that, do sub 1. But I'm going to take maybe a little bit of Tim's shine here. And I do actually have access to the split decision props on Bovada. And I show that Gilmore's split is plus 1,800. He kept that fight with Petrosyan pretty close. Brahimaj is not even half the grappler of Petrosyan. So I could see this getting pretty sketchy down the stretch for Brahimaj. But if he does get a sound position, the only way he's stopping Gilmore is by TKO. So those are my 2.
Awesome. Love it. Manpreet, what do you got here?
Yeah, it's kind of in line with what Shawn's saying here in terms of the specific prop. Brahimaj KO plus 600 is one that I'm seeing. And Brahimaj round 2 plus 350. Like, if this does squeak into that second round, just as it did in the Petrosyan fight, rather than taking the round 1, which I think is like plus 180, plus 170, there's a chance it could go into round 2, and at plus 350, not too bad there. So yeah, those are the 2 spots I like for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm right there with you guys. I think, honestly, the KO line for Brahimaj is a little too wide. Like, it's actually 950 on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
And another line I will give you is a little different because Brahimaj's gas tank is very shaky to me. And the other part is we have to take into account that it's this short notice for him. And he was the last guy. I don't know. You know, Manpreet is all over the weigh-ins. He was the last guy to weigh in. He didn't look that good. He was like very relieved to make weight. And we know he has a gas issue. So for me, like, just thinking it, like, if I'm going to take KO, how about KO 1 at plus 1,800? Because the guy finishes most of his fights in the first round if he gets the finish. I know they're all submissions, but if we're going to go with the KO line, why not take that shot at KO 1 at plus 1,800 with the ground and pound, right? I'm not expecting to get it on the feet, but I expect it for him to take him down early and maybe get the ground and pound there. So I'm going to go with Brahimaj KO 1 plus 1,800. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, I'm completely with you guys. I bet this is a Lambo play. I mean, I bet it earlier at plus 320 on the sub 1 on FanDuel, but it can't count. I'll take this. I mean, I'll take a pass on this one for sub 1 at plus 240, but I did hedge on round 2 KO at 25 to 1 and round 3 KO at 35 to 1 for Gilmore.
Ooh,
Those are kind of nice, actually.
Honestly, I don't mind that a lot because I think, you know, Gilmore's known to kind of gas. I think the person that's going to gas here might be Brahimaj if this goes later. I just, you know, Gilmore looked actually really, really good on the scales. I know he cut down to 170 for this fight. He actually looked good. I mean, I don't know what his cardio is going to look like, but he looked like the better guy on the scales.
Yeah, Gilmore by points too is 5.5 to 1. So I mean, that's not a bad look if you think that he can outlast Brahimaj, and Brahimaj has been pretty durable from a KO standpoint. So
yeah, I could see that too. We'll move on. Fight number 3. It is Mr. Alejandro Perez going up against Jonathan Martinez. Perez wanted this fight at 145, and he barely made 145 because he was sweating it. I don't get it, but Manpreet, kick this one off for us. What do you got here?
I'm a Martinez truther, right? The narrative around him seems to be that he's hittable. Uh, his durability isn't the greatest, but the guy really only has that one knockout loss in his 2 fights ago now to Davy Grant. Like, he's really not as chinny as people are making him out to be. And I feel like the only way that we see Perez actually get the dub here is if he lands that big shot, because I think Martinez, he showed it in his last fight against Viad, where he's stuffing takedowns, keeping it on the feet, letting his hands go, letting his combinations go. Pretty much needs to do the same thing here. Perez, underrated fighter to a certain extent, and I think that he showed even in the Matthew Lopez fight. I felt pretty good about Matthew Lopez in that fight going into it, and then to see him just get out hustled and then his cardio just fall off a cliff in round 2, and then him get finished by Perez. Like, Perez is one of those guys that will stick around, so it's not like Martinez can take the foot off the gas at all here. I think he needs to keep that pace, keep those combinations going, and he should be safe. And this could look like a prime Martinez decision, but that's only plus 140, plus 145 or something like that. The only spot that I see that I like for a long Lambo parlay shot or Lambo play shot, Perez KO plus 900, in case there's any way. That is the only way I see. I think it's a little bit too fabricated with the narrative of his chin, but if Perez is going to win, that is likely the case. There's no way he's winning minutes in this fight, right? If he gets top position, I think that we'll see Martinez eventually sweep or get back to his feet. He's pretty good with doing that, at least recently. But yeah, in terms of a Martinez win, it looks like a decision to me. I can't really say KO or sub in that spot. Perez is quite durable, other than when Song Yadong sent him to the shadow round. But outside of that, are we expecting that from Jonathan Martinez? I don't really think so. So I think we see 50 minutes, but in the off chance there is a crazy upset, Perez KO is probably the spot to go.
I mean, I pretty much agree with your breakdown there, but I will give you a little bit of a different take. You mentioned all the things why I like this prop. You kind of gave the breakdowns of everything that I like about this prop. You mentioned that Perez gassed against what was it that you mentioned?
It was Lopez that
Lopez
gassed against Perez.
Oh, it was Lopez that gassed. Okay,
Yeah.
Never mind. That I thought you said Perez gassed. Okay,
No.
But,
Lopez gassed. Yeah.
But what I do like, and I will say, is that Perez taking this fight, wanting to go up to 145, barely making 145. And you could see it on the scales. Like, he was actually shaking on the scales. So guy is not in good shape, man. There's no way you could tell me this guy's in good shape and has been training. He's a smaller guy to begin with, so he shouldn't have trouble making 35 that much. And now he's having trouble making 45. It just tells me he didn't train much for this fight. The other thing I will say is Martinez does have round 3 KOs in his wins. He does keep on coming. You saw it in the Zavad fight, last one. He just does keep on coming. Doesn't put out, he keeps his foot on the pedal. So with that being said, with these two factors, why not Martinez round 3 KO at plus 1,400? I don't mind it whatsoever. I think he's got the better cardio here. He's in better condition here. He's the better fighter on the feet by far. And his takedown defense was very impressive last fight against a way better grappler than Perez is, in my opinion. So give me Martinez round 3 KO plus 1,400. I'm throwing all types of bombs this card. Tim, what do you got here? You're muted. You're muted.
Rookie mistake. I've actually bet the round 3 KO, but I'm going to go a little bit safer. I'm going to go round 2, round 3 KO at 6-1 on FanDuel with the combo. So they do. I agree with both your takes that if you're looking at this fight, before the weight miss or before having to move it up because of that, I just think that I would agree that it's going to go the distance. But anytime you add that into the equation, it just and also you have. Martinez is good, like a diesel fighter like that, where he starts off slow, he starts to kick you, gets his range, and then as he starts to figure you out a little bit, he starts to become more and more aggressive. So I think that's going to happen here. I agree that the third round would be more likely than the second, but I just would like to kind of hedge it and give myself a chance in both.
I like it. I mean, round 2, round 3 is not bad whatsoever. At plus, you said 600.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Shawn, you got some crazy take here?
No, I'm going to piggyback off that. I think it's the best play. I think plus 600 rounds 2 and 3. It's kind of an interesting fight because I'm not 100% sold on Jonathan Martinez. I think he has some defensive tendencies that he gets away with because of his stance, and he's also generally a little bit longer than his opponents. And guess what? That's how it's going to work out here. Perez, he actually cannot cover distance very well at all with his striking. I don't think the grappling is going to be available to him like it was last time. The grappling, by the way, if I was on Lambo's last time, I hit that Perez sub. That was great. I think it was like plus.
What was it? It was like astronomical.
No, it was like plus 2,400, I think.
Ooh,
That's pretty astronomical.
Yeah.
jeez.
But I just think that Jonathan, he's a really patient fighter. I think he could actually knock Perez out in the first if he wanted to, but I think as this fight goes down the stretch, he's going to knock him out. This dude, Perez, he made 135 last time, and we saw Instagram videos of him literally training in parking garages with his brother. If he is at an actual legitimate camp now and he cannot make 135, that is a horrible, horrible sign. So, yeah, Jonathan gets him out probably round 2, I would predict.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to buy it. Like, I don't think this guy honestly trained hard for this fight at all.
Either.
Like, I'm not going to buy it. Like, I'm telling you, on the scales, if you guys watched the weigh-ins, he was actually shaking on the scale. Like, he made it. I mean, he made it clear, the 144.5, I believe, but he just didn't look right. So, yeah, I mean, give me actually the better fighter overall, too, in Martinez.
Agreed.
Moving on. This is going to be a banger. It is. Terrence McKinney going up against Faraz Ziam. This is my hot take, kind of, maybe. I'm going to go by split decision plus 700, either fighter to win by split decision. And basically why I am taking this play is because McKinney starts out very fast. He can grapple here. I mean, he throws pretty hard. We saw it in that fight where it was a one-punch KO, and the guy just starts out really, really fast. But his cardio is a question mark to me. If this fight goes on in the later rounds, I favor Ziam. I would take a Ziam late round prop, but this guy just, I don't know, man. He doesn't have that like killer mentality. Like, he's just fine to jab you to death and take a decision victory. So with that being said, I could see like a 10-8 first round for McKinney, and then kind of gassing out, and then Ziam winning the next 2 rounds just by basically touching this guy up and not getting taken down. So with that being said, split decision and either fighter to win by split is plus 700 on DraftKings. That's the way I'm going to go here. What do you got, Tim?
Yeah, if you wanted to hit up either fighter, it's 18-1 for McKinney on that and 12-1. I'm not on that, but that's just like going by what you're saying. It's pretty interesting. I'm on the McKinney sub round 1, and I bet it 2 different times. I bet it at 18-1 on FanDuel, and then on DK at 16-1. I think it's 11-1 right now. There's a big wrestling and grappling edge here, I think, for McKinney. Not big on the grappling, but definitely big on the wrestling. And I feel like in the first round, he's just total rabies, full rabies mode. So, like, just go, he's going to go for it. I don't mind anybody that plays the round 1 prop or the round 1 KO. I just think that most people against Ziam like strike with him for a very little bit of time before they realize they need to take him down. And even against strikers, they do that. So I believe that McKinney's going to come in with a wrestling game plan early and try to get the sub. So I'll take that at that number.
I don't mind it. Like, he starts out really fast. Like I said, I could see him probably maybe getting a 10-8 on one of the judges' scorecards early because he's just a madman early in the beginning. But I also see him gassing out pretty hard. Shawn, what do you got?
Yeah, I like those numbers on the sub. The thing that kind of turned me off from it a little bit is just on the tape, Ziam does things, in my opinion, that look higher level than you would think. He seems to train his grappling quite a bit. Whereas McKinney, I'm not totally convinced by his training partners, but dude, that should hit technically. He's going to have a massive strength and wrestling edge early. So he should be able to theoretically hit a rear naked choke or an arm triangle. But that said, for me, I'm going to play this one pretty much the logical way I see it go out. I don't think you can go wrong with the last fight hitting the 6-1 on Martinez 2-3 and hitting the 6-1 on this one with Ziam 2-3. I just think it's a pretty safe bet for the odds you're getting. That's 2-3 KO on FanDuel. McKinney is a glass cannon. This fight has all the makings of McKinney's hype just totally derailing. So I'm just going to play that. If it loses, I'll dollar cost average that down the road. It's good numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind any of those. What I will say is I do think Ziam's submission grappling and actual grappling is pretty good, man. It's not bad at all. And he's been training at Sanford now and is grappling with Gilbert Burns, stuff like that. Like, guy's probably getting better. He's still young. I think he's the better submission grappler here, to be honest.
He looked good against Malarkey and some of those transitions. And Malarkey's no joke on the mat.
I think Malarkey's a much better submission grappler than McKinney is. So yeah, I think the threat was more with Malarkey than it is here with McKinney. But McKinney is strong, like you said. He has better wrestling. So I don't know. We'll see. Manpreet, you got anything for us here?
I'm going to add, I'll pretty much pick the opposite. I'll go McKinney round 1 KO plus 650. Not too bad of a shot. 10 out of 11 fights and wins all in the first round. Why not ride a little bit of the trend there at 6-1, 6.5-1?
Honestly, Manpreet, I like that over sub, to be honest. I just think he has more of a chance of knocking him out in the first than he does subbing, because I just
wild
think
shit. Like Tim said, rabies, right? You're getting rabies McKinney in round 1, and there's a chance he could clip him.
All the hype that is behind him, the guy you could see he's like amped up, ready to go. Like,
he just wants to fight.
He almost blew out his knee in the last win. Like, it was.
Hey, really quick, do you guys think that world-class kickboxer Ziam is going to be ready for a 1-2 head kick?
Yeah, I don't know if that same spam that he does over and over again
4 times in a row.
But this is the same thing though. People talking about with Benitez versus Onama. Like, there's freak athleticism differences between technical guys. Like, sometimes the technique is great and it'll hold up the defensively, and there's other times where guys are just freaks and they're way quicker, way more explosive, and they hit you once and you're dead.
Like, this guy has some weird power too. Like, even when he's like knocking dudes out from full guard, like he has some weird power generation ability.
Definitely, he might have heavy hands. Like, some people.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said some people just have really heavy hands, like when they're striking, and maybe it doesn't look like they're hitting you hard, but they're putting you out.
Montel Jackson's another dude, right? Like, he doesn't look like he's a power puncher, but like when he lands, he's like hurting these dudes pretty bad.
I mean, even what's his face last week, Hill, he like knocked out some dude with an arm, basically a flick.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but one thing with the Ziam like Benitez comparison is I think most people were questioning Benitez's durability, and not really people are questioning Ziam's durability. So the dude's pretty seasoned. He's young, so I'm not sure that the freak athleticism will play out. But dude, MMA is a meme. So we will.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm on. To be totally honest, I'm actually on the Ziam 2-3 with you as a hedge with the sub 1 and the round 1 for McKinney. Yeah, like I think they're both beautiful plays. I think 2 fights are exactly the same. Where if the guy doesn't get the guy out in round 1, you're going to see the other guy have round 2 and round 3. There's a couple fights like that in this card.
And hopefully he actually shows some initiative, because as Mike was alluding to, Ziam. The big worry is the guy kind of just sits back. So, yeah, good luck to us.
Yeah, I don't mind all those shots. They look good. I might play that Ziam 2-3. I was close to playing it, and then I kind of flaked out because I thought Ziam is not much of a killer. But, hey, you don't need to be a killer if the guy in front of you is just dead tired. So,
yeah.
But moving on, maybe the fight of the night. It's Josiane Nunez going up against Ramona Pascal. I will give the fight of the night over to Tim. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that greatly. This is a lady, a lunch lady killer in Nunez that has some insane power. But if you watch the regional tapes on her, is absolutely like hilarious. Some of the people that she's beating in these fights, and but at the same time, like she's got real power. And the only thing that that kind of scares me is the weight, moving up in weight, and this girl's going to be just gigantic compared to her. But she wings these huge overhand rights, and I just think that she's going to catch she's going to catch Ramona in the first round. So I went KO1 at plus 310 for Nunez.
Awesome. Shawn?
Yeah, I just don't think we know really much about these women. For what we do know, Nunez, like Tim said, she fights lunch ladies, and then Bia Malecki, who unfortunately went into the fight with brain damage, according to her account. So I'm not 100% convinced by this Nunez girl. I don't like betting super heavy favorite women and women's MMA. So I just think you can't really go wrong with Pascal by points plus 430. Maybe she initiates the clinch. That's what she tries to do. She tries to clinch. So she's going to try to limit the space that Nunez has to kind of wing those shots. Maybe she makes her slip on a banana peel, ends on top. Nunez doesn't have much of a game to get up off her back. So I just see possibilities where Ramona makes this an even more awful WMMA fight than we're expecting, and just makes this just a terrible drag them out decision victory. So I actually will probably play that prop.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly have a play on the over 1.5 because I think it's a stupid line. I don't understand that line. Like, just because Nunez hyped with all the power, the knockouts, but over 1.5 at minus 140 in women's MMA, like, I'm gonna take it, like, almost always. Manpreet, what do you got, brother?
I'm gonna echo pretty much what Shawn said there. Pascal, even if you want to get greedier, Pascal by unanimous at plus 450, or her by split at plus 1400. If this goes the full 3 and she doesn't assert that top control that she needs to, but makes it super close, doesn't get knocked out, maybe she has a godly chin. Who the fuck knows? But we'll find out tomorrow night. But either way, I like the points on Roman Amedov at plus 450, whatever it is right now, plus 250.
Yeah, I mean, Shawn kind of echoed why I'm taking the prop I'm taking, and that's mainly because Nunez pretty much sucks on her back.
Yeah.
Pascal is a big girl. Like, you can see her in weigh-in. She's big. If she gets on top, I think, Nunez is going to have a very hard time to get up. Not that, Pascal is some skilled fighter, because I think she's fought, not many good. The last opponent was just awful, man. Like,
weigh-in day notice. They had to just grab some chicks. Seriously.
I mean, come on. I mean, that girl did not look like any type of fighter. I don't know how she was 2-0. I don't know who she fought that she beat. But what I will say is that she's a big girl. She's training at Syndicate, so she has some, decent training there. And, the Pascal submission is plus 1200. I just think she's the better grappler, and she's the bigger girl. Like, if she gets on top of her, if she gets that full mount, starts raining punches, and this girl gives up her back, like, I could see a rear naked choke, and it's a big number. And I think she's probably the better grappler here and the bigger girl. So give me submission plus 1200. Honestly, it's not a bad look on the best fight of the card. Moving on.
Hey, round 3 Ramona is 20-1.
Yeah, I mean,
that's interesting.
I could see that too, because Nunez
tends to gas even when she's
chucking. I mean, I don't know if
we've seen a decision line.
What is
Sorry?
it?
Is there a round 3 decision line for Pascal?
I haven't checked.
Probably on FanDuel, yeah.
Let's see here.
Not sure.
Plus 340. Pascal wins in final round or by decision. Plus 340.
It's pretty good, man.
Let me give a shout out to this chat. There is 24 of you. Thank you very much for being in chat. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please smash the like. Please subscribe to my channel. Comment in there. Do whatever you need to do to help me out. If you guys comment, I'll reply, whatever it needs to be done. But Thank you very much, first and foremost, to all of you in chat, especially Chad, because I know Shawn doesn't give him any shout outs.
Yeah, who's that guy?
But we'll move on. Fight number 6. It is Ignacio Bajamondes going up against Zhu Rong. Kick this one off, Shawn.
Yeah, so I like the over half a round at minus 1,800. That's a max bet for me. so for me, I think this. I shouldn't even say anything. This has Tim written all over it. This is split decision city. I mean, look at this. I mean, Zhu Rong to win by split 14-1. Ignacio Bajamondes split decision 7.5-1, at least on Bovada. I'm sure Tim has a specific split decision book at this point, but that's what I have access to. And let's be real here, man. Rong looked horrible at weigh-ins. All right, how can we trust this guy at this point? Okay, the guy looked awful against Vargas. He looked like he didn't even know how to fight. His next fight is against Jenkins. He missed weight. This fight, he misses weight. And he showed up to the press conferences looking like a cupcake with that pink suit on. I don't trust this guy one bit. But that said, Bajamondes blocks punches with his faces. He's going to have the bigger volume, but who's to say Zhu Rong doesn't hit takedowns? He doesn't, knock this guy down. Bajamondes bleeds all over the place. So hit those split decision props. Makes the sense to me.
Love it. Love it. Manpreet, you got a hot take here?
I'm picking Bajamondes to win. But if Mr. Rong actually has any grappling success here, which I don't think will happen, maybe a submission prop on him plus 1,400. I've heard that get thrown around a little bit, and I kind of see it. Bajamondes is 2 out of his 4 losses are via sub, even on his regional or amateur days, losing by sub as well. So maybe it's there, but I think his takedown defense is good enough though to keep this thing standing, and then just let his volume go after that. And again, this is the Lambo show. I can't be giving out Bajamondes by decision at plus 140. You know what I mean? I got to try to get something cheeky, some conspiracy hat shit here. But even Bajamondes by unanimous plus 215. There you go. Maybe.
Hey, that's a Toyota Corolla play. We'll allow that.
If it works, it works.
We'll allow it.
Gets me from point A to point B. We're good.
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty much in agreement with Shawn about the split majority. I took the shot on the wrong side because it's plus 1,400, and mainly my reasoning was the optics. Right, Wrong is the bigger puncher here. Bajamondes tends to bleed every damn fight. Just the optics. Of course, he has the volume edge here. I agree with that. He's probably going to stuff takedowns. Maybe Wrong gets a takedown, but one thing that Shawn said that resonates with me, he said that this guy, I don't know if he's taking stuff serious and stuff. 2 fights in a row, he's messed around in that 3rd round. I don't know if you guys noticed. He's on top of the guy. He's talking to the corner. I don't know who he's talking to, but totally disregarding what he's doing to this guy. It's kind of like a red flag with this guy. He's done it 2 times in a row. Now he's missed weight 2 times in a row. But Bajamondes punches, takes punches with his head. He doesn't block them. He bleeds all the time. He has good volume. But again, this fight I think is going to be close unless Wrong completely gasses. And I could see that too because Bajamondes just keeps coming and throws a lot of volume. But I'm gonna take a shot with that Wrong split majority decision plus 1,400. I honestly don't think you can go wrong. I think this fight goes to decision. So plus 1,400, I'm gonna take a shot. Tim, tell us you probably have a minimum of 4 plays here. Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, I'm with you guys entirely. I think the fight goes to decision. The only thing that scared me off was missing by 4 pounds, but I don't think that's going to be – it's not like he had a tough weight cut, obviously. I like the split decision on both of them. I did bet Bajamondes by points as well. So I just think that's the way to go. I mean, if you think that you're going to get a guy that's going to fight goes to the decision and then 14-1 and 7.5-1 when you already have a 2.5-1 that's fine. You can just sprinkle 0.1 unit on either one of those and be fine.
What I will say, just to kind of like add to what you're saying. You probably didn't watch the weigh-ins. He did miss by 4 pounds, but he had a very rough cut, man. He was being dragged out by his corner, like his arm around his corner being walked out. So he must have had a really tough weight cut, even though he missed by 4 pounds. So it's kind of awkward. Like Shawn mentioned, like, I don't know what this guy's doing, if he's messing around or what's going on. Moving on. This is the fight that actually I think is going to be the fight of the night. It is Gregory Rodriguez going up against Armen Petrosyan. Manpreet, I'll kick off the fight of the night to you.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this fight. A lot of big opinions on either side, convicted opinions from our community. I'm on the dog here. I do like Petrosyan. I was somewhat impressed with his work in the regional scene in terms of fending off takedowns and trying to stay safe and, always working to get back up, not kind of settling into position, having the cardio to make those defensive moves, and then eventually find the knockout later in fights. We've seen Rodriguez when forced to grapple, which I think he'll be forced to do here. If he's not successful in getting his jiu-jitsu going or getting a submission, he expends a lot of energy, and we saw that in the Junior Park fight, inches away from getting knocked out. If it's Petrosyan in that position, Petrosyan more than likely knocks him out. Park obviously had a huge size disadvantage in that fight and had to exchange in the pocket with him, whereas Petrosyan can kind of play on the outside a little bit more and stay safer, especially with the much more gassed Gregory Rodriguez. So the spot that I like actually, excuse me, is the round 2 KO Petrosyan. Let me just pull that up. What do we? Okay.
It's a nice number.
8-1.
Sorry?
8-1?
8-1, 7-1.
Yeah,
Even
I bet too.
round 3 KO plus 1200, but I think he gets started in the second round. That's my spot.
I like that bet a lot. But for me, I'm gonna go with kind of it's probably a lot of people like this play. It's Rodriguez submission round 1 plus 800. But I also took a crack with Petrosyan KO3 at plus 1400. I kind of skipped the KO2, but I think I might add that too, because I think either way, I think this fight's ending one way or another. But the thing I see with Petrosyan, he's really not fought a submission grappler like Rodriguez, right? Rodriguez is very, very skilled. I know he didn't sub the Iron Turtle, but that guy's a much better grappler than Petrosyan is. I know Petrosyan has, gotten up against these regional guys, but when you got a guy as big as Rodriguez, as skilled as Rodriguez on top of you, I think it's completely different to get up against this guy. Like one little mistake and you're going to be in a choke, or you're going to be in an arm bar or whatever. So I just think the subline at plus 800 round 1, which is probably a big majority of Rodriguez's equity, is probably early on and not later in this fight. So I'm going to take plus 800 and then kind of play that Petrosyan KO3 at plus 1400, because I do think he has the better tank. And the other thing that Manpreet mentioned is that Rodriguez, he's going to have to grapple here more than likely. And if he fails and Petrosyan is getting up and this is getting to the later rounds, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the fresher fighter. And, with that being said, like, he still has a lot of power on the feet. So plus 1400 round 3 KO is not bad. Tim.
Sorry, can I add something? Yeah.
Sure.
I get the submission Rodriguez angle. Like, it's clear as day, right? Black belt in jiu-jitsu against mainly a striker. Maybe he should be able to get that position and find that submission. Round 1, absolutely. That's when he is most effective. But from the tape that I've run, people are talking Gregory Rodriguez up to be some like Damian Maia kind of jiu-jitsu guy, where as soon as he gets a position, he's going to be able to get a submission. That's the kind of feeling that I've been getting from the amount of confidence people have in him. Whereas realistically, the last time he won via submission, 2018 against a guy that was 30-18, that was more than likely way past his fighting prime at that time. Before that, against a guy that was 4-1, a guy before that, a guy that was 3-2, like, and even a 1-1 guy, essentially, right? Again, I could be off in terms of how good those guys actually were, but from the positions I've been seeing Petrosyan get out of already, I feel confident enough that if Lil Almatavo can get out of position from Gregory Rodriguez, I don't think Petrosyan will have much issue in doing the same. and then eventually finding that chin and knockout.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I do like the shot though. Plus what's the number you got? Round 1 submission, because
it's
that's the
plus
obvious play.
800.
That's the obvious play for the Rodriguez side and that angle. But after round 1, I'd be surprised if Petrosyan gets stuck in a position that's going to get him subbed or finished.
I'll give a little disclaimer, and this is not coming from me because I don't want to take any credit for this. We were on Spaces on Wednesday, and there was a gentleman in there. I can't remember his name. Dagestani Poppy that said that he trains. He's trained with Gregory Rodriguez before, and they talk about how he's the nastiest grappler at Sanford, right? They're saying when he gets on top and like he just snatches everybody's arm in training, like, so that's what he said. I know he's a high level grappler. I know he hasn't shown the actual submissions. I just think there's huge level gaps here, like between Petrosyan and him. And if he gets it to the ground, I just feel like there's a good chance that he can get that sub. But again, it's you said, something that's very true. Like, we haven't seen him finish for some reason, when he's getting in these good positions. So, Tim?
I'm going to echo a lot of what you guys are saying. I'm going to echo a lot what you guys are saying. I do feel like Rodriguez sub 1 I've bet, and I also bet the KO2 and the KO2-3 for the Petrosyan side. Petrosyan, when he fights these guys that have been taking him down recently, a lot of them are control based. And against Kolev in the Contender Series fight, he tends to get up and he gets into a 4-legged position where his elbows are on the ground and his knees are on the ground, and then he's in those positions. That's exactly where Rodriguez will strike. So I do agree though that if this fight hits the second and third round, that the KO is going to be very, very live. So love both those plays, and I'm on both those plays.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. Shawn, what do you have, buddy?
Yeah, it seems like a pretty easy fight to just predict on props. I would set mine up a little bit different than you guys. I'm going to be doing Gregory sub 1 and 2 at plus 550, and then Armin KO 2-3. I believe that's
plus 440.
Yeah, plus, is it
that low?
Yeah, plus 440. I still don't mind it, to be honest with you, because I think you're covering literally 85% of the potential outcomes here. The reason why I would caution people to not just think that Rodriguez is sub 1 or bust. A lot of narratives about this guy's cardio. He got tired last fight because he got binked. The guy started to panic. He got hit. He wasn't expecting it. He started to freak out. It's pretty much a small sample size as far as I'm concerned. We need to see him in the later rounds more before we can definitively conclude that Gregory Rodriguez gassed out because he grappled. The other thing that was nice about Dagestani Poppy jumping on the show was, number one, I don't know anybody at Sanford MMA, so I'm going to be hitting them up all the time. Number two, it confirmed something that I was trying to confirm all week through people I know who know people there, which was, why isn't this guy rear naked choking people? Is it because his biceps are too big? Like, what's going on here? But really what it boils down to is the guy has several different variations of arm bars that he sets up when he grabs someone's back. And that type of a sequence to me is sophisticated enough to give somebody like Armin, who definitely is not that good of a grappler, maybe some issue here. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Armin does get submitted. But yeah, he's live later on. Why wouldn't he be? He's the far superior striker. ATT's talking him up. And the guy comes from death every single fight and knocks people out. So just set up your plays accordingly.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the under, I have it under 1.5. I have the under 2.5 here. Like, I just don't see this fight going the distance.
If it does, screw everything, because we keep getting killed on those.
Yeah, I'll be shocked, honestly. I'll be a lot more shocked in this one than I was with the Parker Porter, just because Porter
Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
Yeah, Porker. Sorry, Porker.
Baldo finessed all of us. He's like, I'm gonna go down easy in the first 2 fights, and then I'm gonna cash out big in that third one and go distance. That's exactly what he fucking did.
The worst part was the teaser of him getting mount with 20 seconds left in the damn fight. Like that was the worst part of it all.
Oh, my heart breaks.
What about sorry, because I'm just gonna pile it on. What about Pierce? 15 submissions.
Honestly, I have to give more credence to Rodriguez, man. Like
Rodriguez's hand fighting was off
so good.
Well, he did everything correct, but
everything.
Just the fact that you got those numbers on Pierce, those
you
numbers were absurd.
You know what I think the difference is that Pierce usually lets the ground and pound go way more than he did. He was just constantly searching for the subs. And I think if he would have let his hands go, it might have set up a little bit better.
I agree with you. He needed to break him. But Rodriguez is tough, man.
Man, Rodriguez, he's going to be really good, especially he's up. I mean, how many people, this is the thing, how many people would break after what Pierce was doing to Rodriguez? A lot of people would break, man. Like Rodriguez was impressive, but
he's a prospect.
He shouldn't be fighting at that weight class either.
No.
Let's move on. It is the prospect himself. It is Arman Tsarukyan going up against Joel Alvarez. I can kick this one off. I think Tsarukyan is going to win the fight. The guy's too good, good wrestler, heavy on top. But I can't ignore the Alvarez sub one, honestly, at plus 1,000, man. Like I know, elite fighters are not supposed to get subbed from top position and all that stuff. But, this guy's limbs, man, Alvarez's limbs are so damn long for this division. He throws up those triangles. I mean, he has a good guillotine. And the thing is, you have to look at that. Arman's going to give him every chance to get submissions here because he's going to wrestle. He's going to take this guy to the ground. It's just a matter of, is he going to be able to lock one of those submissions up against a high-level, wrestler and grappler in Arman? I just think, you're getting a big price on a guy that's done a ton of submissions in his career, right? Most of them are by sub. You're getting sub one at plus 1,000. I'm going to take a shot. I don't think once he tires out, I doubt he's going to sub Arman because Arman has the much better cardio here. So I think if he's going to get a sub, it's got to be early. I'm going to take up a shot with that sub one at plus 1,000. Tim, what do you got?
This should be the co-main event. This is just an absolute bloodbath. I love this fight. I've got a bet on inside the distance for Alvarez as well as really, if you hit up either one, the Alvarez KO line at 8-1 is just awesome. Like he just doesn't strike the way that he does, or he did in the last fight. And these guys, like he said, he actually said this in interviews that, he hasn't struck because people don't want to strike with him, and then they take him down. And he's perfectly willing to kill him on the ground. So that's just awesome to me that now he's showing this level to his game. And I'm not saying that Santos is this amazing or Moises is an amazing striker, but like that was just an obliteration. And he was doing it from every different angle. He was kicking him. He was using elbows from the clinch. He was striking from distance. Like it was just awesome. So I really feel like if he has any time or any length of time to get the KO, I think it's live. But I disagree. I think that he could get the sub at really any round because of how just sneaky he is with arm bars and triangles and things like that. And he's so long in this situation that they're going to set up all fight.
Yeah, I could see it maybe later on. Maybe I should have done it that way, but yeah, I have the sub one. Shawn, you got anything special here?
Yeah, so I think Moises must follow a really infamous capper in this space because he thought that Alexander Hernandez was a good fighter. So when he beat Alexander Hernandez, he convinced himself that, hey, I am this incredible striker. I beat the great ape, Alexander Hernandez. So what did he do? He tried to strike with one of the longest fighters in the division, tried to go toe-to-toe with him, and he just looked like a fool because Moises, he's not really that tough, honestly. So that win, I don't really rate it that high personally. I rate the way he finished him high. So that's why I would say that the best bet for this would probably be Alvarez sub 1 at the line you got, Mike. I think it's possible that Tsarukyan makes a mistake, might get club and subbed. He might just get guard subbed. I doubt it. But I think as far as numbers go, that's the best bet. But Tsarukyan's going to win this fight.
I want to say one thing. He looked like an absolute tank on the scales, man. Tsarukyan,
he's going to beat this guy.
Dude, he looks scary on the scale. I mean, even though Alvarez is huge in the division, he looked much bigger in height and stuff. But man, Tsarukyan looked amazing on the scales.
Yeah.
Manpreet, what do you got? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shawn. You had
no, I was just going to say the line, the money keeps coming in on Yoel Alvarez. So
oh my God.
Keep an eye on it because Tsarukyan, I don't know, man.
If it goes too much lower, I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna play him money line if it gets a lot lower. So
yeah.
Manpreet, what do you got, brother?
KO Alvarez round 1 plus 2,200. Is that what I'm seeing with my eyes? Plus 2,200.
Wow,
not bad.
That's pretty good. Not bad.
Like again, if he is going to win, that's the large amount of the win equity, right? Is like either he gets that sub or he clips in and just continues to drum instead of sub, and he still gets the win plus 2,200. I think that's crazy. By the way, if anybody of north of the border knows of any bookies that I can get these types of plays and props, hit me up, because I'm sitting here like more often than not when I do my breakdowns and put out all my plays and all that stuff, I don't even consider these, round 3 KO type of shits because I don't have access to them. So I'm just playing either round 3 or KO. Like I gotta get on these Lambo plays, man. Somebody in the chat, please let me know in Canada, legit bookie that I can make those bets. Let me know.
I need to warn you, Manpreet, because you just asked the chat for anyone from Canada to recommend you a book. Do not open any link that MMA Chad sends to you. That is definitely going to infect your computer. It's going to take all of your money. Yeah, see, there he is, Canada. Yeah, he's definitely going to send you some kind of a link. It's going to connect to your MetaMask, and it's going to steal all your Bitcoin.
All right, I'll keep my eyes out for him.
Hey, I have a question on this one, guys. What do you think of two things? What do you think of Tsarukyan either round 3 or like what do you like his KO line is just terrible, but do you think that he has a chance to win inside the distance, or do you guys think that he wins by points? Because points is plus 190.
I'll say one thing. When he's on top, I think he's going to be very careful.
That's
I think he'd rather play it safe on top is my opinion. So I just see a decision. Honestly, I played Alvarez KO only or whatever it is.
Finish only
at plus 150 because I think the finish equity is mostly on Alvarez's side, and I think plus 150 is a good line.
It really depends on how bad Alvarez's gas tank actually is, right? Like if Tsarukyan can just kick it up a notch because he senses the guy's like very much drowning and won't be able to make it the full 15 minutes, then sure. But like we don't know. We don't honestly know that's going to happen. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how they play it. If Tsarukyan just sits in his guard and just stays out of the submissions, like how much is Alvarez actually going to gas from, being on his back essentially? But
honestly, I think that's a little overblown. Like, I don't think he has a bad gas tank. Like, I watched some of his fights, like in that fight where he was in round 3 when he lost the decision to Ismagulov. Like, he didn't look bad at all. Like, I don't think his gas tank is as bad as people are making it out to be honest. I haven't seen it much on tape to see that he gasses really bad. I don't think that's true, but I know there's a narrative out there that this guy gasses. I don't see it, to be honest.
Also, just one thing to note in terms of that, with this Magula fight, mainly a striking battle, right?
Sure.
They're not really grappling in that spot. Whereas in this fight, he's going to be grappling. He's going to tax himself a little bit more, similar to the Rodriguez fight that we're talking about. I think the reason he may gas is because he's going to look to grapple hard, and that's usually what slows guys down quicker. And I think that's where that's where Jared Cannonier was successful getting Brunson out of there. I think we see a similar thing play out here with Petrosyan eventually getting Rodriguez out of there. And, who knows what's going to happen here between Alvarez and Tsarukyan, but I'm staying the hell away. I just want to watch it as a fan. I honestly don't want. And if I can find a bookie that gives me 22-1 on Joel Alvarez KO round 1, that's the only sprinkle I have on this fight. Otherwise, I'm sitting pretty. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
I'll
this.
sprinkle it for you, Manpreet.
There we go. Send it to me afterwards.
Yeah, it's a great fight to watch. It's probably one of the better fights on the card.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to even a better fight possibly here. It is Priscilla Cachoeira going up against Jian Kim, and guess who's gonna have the floor again? Tim, it's all yours, buddy.
I love it. I love it. This fight is gross. This is so gross. I really hate having to talk about this fight. You got Ketcha cheating. Like the split props are the only way to go for this one on me. They are both zombies, and I got the split for Ketcha beating at 12-1 and Kim at 6-1. So just not a huge play, just like very light.
Yep, I see it. Shawn, you got some special play here on this fight?
Yeah,
crazy fight.
Yeah, what a banger! Really excited to see this one. I think if you have DK, you can get point deduction on Cachoeira at like plus 2,000.
Damn it!
So I would probably do that because we've seen that part of her jiu-jitsu game consists of eye gouges and fish hooks. And I'm not sure if she's familiar with the rule set, but you can't do that. So that's a good bet.
I did bet that.
Very nice play, Shawn. You dug deep for that one. I like it. Manpreet.
Yeah, I don't think it gets any better than that, honestly. Like, I think Kim by decision, but again, that's plus 120. It's not a potential, point deduction type of fucking play. But yeah, shout out to Shawn for that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement, man. I have an actual play on that at the point deduction at plus 2,000. It's on DraftKings. Cachoeira's pretty much a cheater, man. If you ask me, like, there was a lot of, after she did what she did in that last fight, there was a lot of fighters that went on social media and stuff wanting her kicked out of the UFC because
should have been.
It was very bad. It was very deliberate. I mean, it's not like she even hit it, man. Like, she just literally tried to gouge her eye out while she's getting subbed. So
I love that Jillian Robertson wasn't even phased. She was just happy she got the win. Like, she didn't even care. They tried bringing it up to her. She goes, "Nah, I don't care. Whatever. I got the win. That's all that matters." I'm like, touche, touche.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, do it to someone we don't like, but to do it to Jillian Robertson.
How dare thee?
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, point deduction, man. Plus 2,000. Maybe even draw because of that, but I don't see Cachoeira winning minutes here. That's the thing. I think Kim is going to win a decision pretty comfortably. So yeah, that's how I went with the point deduction plus 2,000.
Cachoeira KO plus 400. That's the only way she wins, really.
Yeah, but Kim is tough, man. Like, she's pretty durable. So moving on, we're gonna move on to the co-main event. It is Misha Cirkunov going up against Wellington Thurman. This one's to you, Shawn. What do you got here, bud?
Yeah, I guess I've been on a bit of an island this week. I think Turman's going to win this fight. And if I had to guess, I would say that he's pillow-fisted enough to make this go to the distance. So I like goes the distance, and I also like Turman by unanimous decision plus 400. I don't think the split decision's bad either, plus 750, but to me, I think unanimous is more likely.
All right. Manpreet, you got anything here?
No strong feelings on this matchup. The only one that really stuck out to me was Cirkunov round 1 plus 300. Outside of that, not much at all.
Yeah, man, I do have a bet on Turman plus 104, but I think I'm going to arb out of it after watching the face-offs. I don't know if you guys saw those face-offs, man. Like, these guys do not look like in the same weight class. Cirkunov looked massive compared to Turman. With that being said, Cirkunov, what is it?
He's going to gas.
Yeah, with that being said, Cirkunov is pretty much like a round one or sub, or bust type of guy. I know he went to the decision against Pillow Fists Jotko, but I was kind of impressed with Turman in that third round against Alvi because he went for it. He tried to get him out of there. He hurt Alvi in that third round. I think Alvi is probably more durable than Cirkunov is in that third round. I think he has better cardio than Cirkunov has in that third round. So, like, Turman third round KO is plus 1,800. Even his second round KO is plus 1,600. Like, I could honestly see it, even though Turman is not a big hitter. He just looked a little different in that last fight against Alvey, where he actually went for it in that third round, hurt Alvey too. So if he can hurt Alvey, I'm pretty sure he can hurt Cirkunov in that third and maybe get him out of there. So you're getting a big plus number. I don't mind it. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm on the Cirkunov sub round 1, round 2 plus 340. I think that Wellington looked like just trash against Roberson grappling, and I think that if he gets into any of those positions, that he's going to get subbed.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean, he's never been subbed, I believe, in his career.
He hasn't. He's going to get subbed here though.
But Cirkunov is a good grappler, and he's a huge guy, man, for this division. He looked monstrous.
Let me just add one more thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Go ahead, Shawn.
No, I said he cuts a lot of weight. What were you going to say, Manpreet?
I was going to say, I don't think his cardio looked horrible last time around. He landed, he attempted 10 takedowns and landed 5 of them in that single round alone. Like, he was still going out there and try to go after the victory. And, Wellington Turman has really known to throw himself into the jaws of defeat before. So who knows? Like, Cirkunov could be live later in this fight. I don't think his cardio was as trash as people would have expected it to be with that big of a weight cut for him and his first fight. Now this is his second fight at 185. Maybe he's mastered it a little bit better. I wouldn't bank on Cirkunov slowing down late, but I'm the guy that said Cirkunov round 1. So what do I know?
No, I mean, I understand all that. It's valid. He didn't look that bad. I just think Jotko is that guy that doesn't throw a lot, no volume. I know Turman's kind of similar. I just think Turman hits harder than Jotko does, even though he doesn't have many KOs and stuff like that. But I think he's the bigger puncher than what Jotko is. So, yeah. But with that being said, there's 35 of you in chat. Thank you very much. Before we move on to the main event, because this main event is gonna be a banger. It is Islam Makhachev going against Bobby Green. Manpreet, kick this one off, brother.
Can I just go with Makhachev minus 900? Is that worthy?
No. Listen, that might get you, depending on how much you put on it, might get you a bicycle, a nice bicycle.
You know what? I'm of the belief that this fight actually goes to 25 minutes. I do think we see that Bobby, put up some decent resistance with the defensive grappling. There is the possibility, obviously, Makhachev could have finished this late. I like the late round props, but my cheeky theory this week is going to be Makhachev by unanimous decision plus 400. Again, I'd be surprised if this hits 25 minutes and it's Bobby Green getting his hand raised. I'd be very much surprised, because if it's standing for that long, maybe Bobby eventually finds something to put Makhachev out, because there's no way it's going to be competitive for 25 minutes if this just takes place on the feet. I do think, though, that Makhachev will get this fight down more often than not, but I think we'll see Green survive, get back to his feet every now and then just get held on the cage, dragged down. I think it's going to turn into one of those fights. A big kind of like red flag, though, in terms of that would be Green taking this on short notice, and how much out of shape did he truly get? But this guy's a fucking veteran, man. Like, this guy's been fighting for life. Like, if he needs to go out there and fight a 25-minute fight, I think we can depend on him to go out there and fight a 25-minute fight. So, I personally have a play on the over 2.5 at plus 110, as I do see the possible threat of that late finish from Islam. But let's go plus 400 unanimous for Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much kind of agree with some of the stuff you're saying. Makhachev's grappling is really good. Green is a vet. I don't, all these takes about how Makhachev will finish round 1, round 2. Man, I highly doubt that. If he does finish Green in round 1 and 2, I will be extremely impressed with this guy. He is impressive, but I hear takes, like I've heard some, and I'm not gonna say names at all, but I've heard people say that if this is standing for 25 minutes, Makhachev will school Green on the feet. Like, I can't believe I'm hearing that. And it was an actual, it's someone that I kind of respect too. And I couldn't believe hearing that. But I truly believe if this is on the feet for 25 minutes, Makhachev is in deep trouble. He's going to need takedowns. He's going to get takedowns. It's a matter of how much Bobby Green is going to make him work. Is he going to make him work hard for those takedowns? And if he does get them, is he going to work back up quickly, so that, Makhachev has to, go for the takedowns again and basically blow his gas? Because to be honest, when you watch the fight against Arman, and Arman is, a better wrestler, grappler than Bobby Green is, looking at that third round, Makhachev was tired. Okay. So he was gassed in that third round against the guy in Arman that took the fight on short notice himself there. Bobby Green, to me, is more athletic than Arman is. He's not a better grappler, but he's more athletic. He keeps his hands down when he's striking, which kind of gives him that position. If Arman's to go for double legs, like, his hands are already low, so he can defend against the double leg a little better, right? At the end of the day, plus 600, I think, is wide already to begin with. I don't think this line should be at plus 600. I do have concerns, like Manpreet said, about, the second weight cut, and, it's draining. He took the fight on short notice against one of the best guys in the world, but he's a veteran, man. Plus 600, I'm going to take that line. I just think that line has value. Yes, do I think he's going to lose? He's going to lose most likely, but plus 600 is too wide for me. The other thing I do want to say is split majority decision for Green is plus 4,000. If it gets there, I think here's the thing. Here's where I differ kind of with Manpreet. I think if this fight gets to round 4 and 5, I think it's going to favor Green more than it is going to favor Makhachev. I think that means Green has succeeded in getting up. Green has succeeded in, making Makhachev work for the takedowns. And because Green, let's be honest, he's not going to lay on his back trying to sub Makhachev. He's going to try to work back up. So that means he got there by working back up, by making Makhachev work. And I honestly think I favor Green in those later rounds, in round 4 or 5. So, it is what it is. I think Makhachev wins, but these props of, split decision plus 4,000 and Green plus 600, I just think those are good lines. Sorry for the ramble, but go ahead, Tim.
No, I think Manpreet just found his lock of the night for this week. Plus 4,000.
Plus 4,000 by split.
Send that out.
Tim, what do you got, brother?
That's such a beautiful bet. I don't care if it hits. It's such a beautiful bet.
He's going to frame that shit even if it loses.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think the sub for Makhachev is going to be there in rounds 2, 3, and 4. I'm with you that I think the first round will actually be difficult. Bobby Green is going to be. I agree with you, Mike, at the end of the fight that if it gets to the decision and Makhachev hasn't done what he normally does, it could be a little closer than the people that are parlaying him this to get an extra like 10 cents on their bets. I bet the 2, 3, 4 at plus 240. So I'm going to buy a bicycle with this one.
All right, Shawn, what do you got here, brother?
The obvious Lambo play here is Bobby Green money line. It qualifies, and the line is super wide and dumb. And I don't know. Makhachev, I don't think he's going to be like totally just getting his head knocked around on the feet if it's standing. I think he's going to fight like Russians fight, and he's going to try and keep his distance and keep running away until he can get some good timing on his takedowns. That's generally the style that comes from overseas, from Russia. But that said, I don't know. I think Islam's path, really, to be honest with you, is cage push. I think it's to try and duck under and, hold Bobby around his back. I don't think he's going to get any significant top time personally, because Bobby just doesn't allow you to settle. And the bottom line is that Bobby's a vet. He knows every trick in the book. He's seen it all. What do you guys think? He's never trained against a Dagestani handcuff? People act like Islam has done stuff that Khabib has done. He hasn't. His strength of schedule is not amazing, in my opinion. It's okay. This is going to be his first real test against a battle-tested vet. I like plus 610. I think if you're a coward, I think the best bet is to play the Islam decision plus 3 something. And, whatever you bet on Bobby Green money line, just make sure you win it back on that. So Islam's not putting Bobby away. If anything, Bobby's putting Islam away, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, here people are all over the sub line, and I guess I see the angle, but I think there's recency bias also attached to it because he's subbed 3 straight guys. But like Bobby Green, 42 damn fights, professional fights. He's been subbed once 13 years ago. I know
Grappler.
I know Makhachev is probably the best grappler that he's faced as far as wrestling, but is he the best submission grappler he's faced? I don't know about that.
The thing that like with huge underdogs and huge favorites that shit the bed usually, like the number one factor in my mind is overconfidence. And you go like, these guys just completely overlook somebody, and then they're the person that kicks their ass. And you're like, from Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas days, I mean, like classic old school shit. Like just, it always happens. It's just tragically overconfident. Did you hear the take that he said on like he would out wrestle Jordan Burroughs?
Yeah.
Like this is what I'm talking
who
about.
said
Like,
this?
dude. He was talking to DC about it, and
cool.
and DC was laughing about it, and it's kind of my point that like. This is I'm on the money line with you guys on Green. I think he loses clearly, but it's just for situations like this where somebody's just tragically overconfident, and why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, plus 610. How wrong could you really be? And yeah, he should worry about trying to out wrestle Tsarukyan for 3 rounds than Jordan Burroughs. I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous statement.
On short notice, and Tsarukyan probably very early. Like it's I think it's a different fight if they fight again. Honestly,
people act like this guy's Khabib.
Tsarukyan is a very good grappler, and he has an insane gas tank. Like his cardio, Tsarukyan is next level, man. From what I've seen on tape. But yeah, man. Anything else? If you guys want to add to anything, I mean, this was a great show.
Got to do our parlays, right?
I can't wait. Oh yeah, that's right. Mushroom's gonna kill us if we don't give him a.
He was literally sending me DMs.
Yeah, I know. Mushroom won't let us get away without giving him the Lambo parlay. I will kick one off. This is kind of a crazy one here, Mushroom. You got to be sitting down for this. It is wrong by split decision plus 1,400, Rod submission round 1 plus 800. And Martinez KO round 3 plus 1,400. $10 will pay you $20,240. You're about a 1 and 20th away from a Lambo with just that win alone. Tim, what kind of Lambo parlay do you got for us?
I've got 2 good ones for you. I got Ziam KO 2-3, Martinez KO 2-3 at 48-1, and Ramiz sub 1 and RoboCop sub 1 at 37-1.
What was that? What's the total? Did you run the total on that?
37-1.
Oh, all combined it was 37-1?
No. Ramiz sub 1 and RoboCop sub 1 is a separate one. That's 37-1. Okay. And then Ziam 2-3, Martinez KO 2-3 is 48-1.
Got it.
I like both those.
Nice. Shawn, you got a Lambo parlay for us?
Yeah, it's funny because the one I was eyeing, and I'm going to throw money on it, is going to be Martinez 2-3 KO, ZM 2-3 KO. I think that, honestly, I actually think at 48-1, that's an EV bet probably. But I would also add on, and let me do it here really quick.
Manpreet is looking at us with all these KO round 3, and he wants to kill each and every one of us. Right now.
Yeah. Here we go. So yeah, if I add on Rodriguez sub 1-2, and then I add point deduction and Cachoeira, add that one. Okay, you've got 9,050 to 1. No, I'm just kidding. So just add Gregory Rodriguez sub 1 and 2 to what I just said. Now you're getting 317.5 to 1. Jesus. So
I might play that actually. I'm not even joking.
What's the point? Why is that crazy? I mean, maybe I'm going to start sounding like Magic M and every week just be like, this could definitely happen. And I'm just going to totally nuke all of my bankroll. But I really can see this. Jonathan Martinez should knock this guy out in 2-3. Ziam should knock out McKinney in 2-3. And if Gregory Rodriguez's jiu-jitsu is half of what we hear the talk, I mean, he should be able to submit a guy with no ground game in 1 or 2. So I don't know. I like that.
All right. Chad says Canadians are over.
I'm sure Chad has put one of those links in my DMs already. Just wanted to funnel my money out of my accounts. This guy.
All right, Manpreet, it's up to you. Give us your Lambo parlay.
Again, if I had access to these props, this is what I would put together. And it's pretty much hilarious because it's almost opposite of what Shawn was saying.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go.
Don't do this to me.
I'm gonna go McKinney TKO round 1 plus 650. I'm gonna go Petrosyan KO round 2 plus 700. And then I'm gonna go Martinez round 3 plus 1100. That is a total of 719 to 1.
Oh,
Actually, they're not opposite of Shawn because I think the KO one is actually aligned kind of with Shawn, right? Because Shawn thinks if it gets deeper, Ziam gets the KO. Early on, I think he favors McKinney. I'm pretty sure here. But yeah, I like that one too. I think I might hit that one too.
Maybe
Let's
5%, Narco over here.
5%, brother. 5% coming your way. Liam says Petrosyan inside the distance, Tsarukyan inside the distance, Ramiz inside the distance. What does that pay, Liam? We can't just be throwing.
Can't just leave us hanging like that.
Yeah, you're leaving us hanging.
No, he's just asking us what that pays.
Oh, he wants us to do the work for him.
Let me calculate that for you.
Guy.
I need that Armand. If he wins, I need him to win by decision. I've got a couple parlays that are going on.
Wait, guys, what was Liam?
What?
What was Liam's bet?
It was Petrosyan inside the distance.
Okay, let's do it.
Inside the distance.
Double chance. Petrosyan. Then he's doing Tsarukyan inside the distance. Madman.
I don't think it's not that. I think it's.
My guess is like 16 or 20 to 1 would be my guess.
On Tsarukyan?
If you added all these together.
No, Tsarukyan ITD is plus 165.
You can tell how slow I am at this because I don't generally build these types of bets.
Ramiz inside the distance is.
So Ramiz,
take your time. Take your time, Shawn.
Yeah, Shawn. I mean, you're killing us here, Shawn.
Is this a live show or can you?
Yeah,
this is a live show. Yes,
you can cut this.
We got to give the people what they want. It's minus 150. What is it?
Hold on, I got one more, and then main event over 1.5.
I think that's minus. That's got to be high. It's like minus 200 now.
Oh, you guys are gonna hate me. There's no over 1.5 on.
There is. You could find it somewhere. It's on Caesars, Bet Rivers, and DraftKings. Actually, they have an alternate line. All right. Leave it alone. Let's cut it. That's enough. There he goes. Look, he gave them to you. Look, he found them.
All right, you calculate that.
I'm telling you, it's 16 to 1, 20 to 1, something like that would be my guess.
Tim knows parlay odds. Don't mess with him.
But before we move on, I just want to thank everybody in chat. Still 36 of you in here. Thank you very much, each and every one of you. I also want to thank all 3 of my guests. Thank you very much for taking time off in your day to come on the show and chop it up. It was a great show. We had a lot of fun. With that being said, I will kick it off to Tim and let them know where they can find you, what you have going on. If anything, go ahead, Tim.
So, yeah, I occasionally guest with you here on Lambo Plays, and then Shawn, you and me are doing the spaces on tomorrow. I'll let Shawn tell you when that is. And then we have the spaces that we do on Wednesdays as well. So I'm really excited. Thanks again. It's been awesome.
Awesome, Tim. Thank you for coming on. Shawn, where can they find you? Please don't talk bad about my friend Chad, and then you can tell them anything else you want to tell them. Go ahead.
So first of all, when are we meeting for spaces tomorrow? What time are you good, Tim?
I can do 1:45 like we did last week.
Perfect. So we're going to do 1:45 Central Time tomorrow. I'll set that up. It'll be our final bets for the UFC. So just go ahead and – am I echoing?
You are definitely echoing.
How's that possible?
Actually, you're good on my end.
Huh.
No, you're
It's better now.
I don't know what happened. Well, basically, you pay attention to my Twitter timeline, follow me at Shawn Orr. I'll probably have an article up tonight. I'm not sure if I'm even going to write one because this UFC event is just a landmine.
Yeah, follow these guys, Tim, Shawn. They have great spaces. I'm on there occasionally with them. We have a lot of fun. You know, people come up and talk. It's great. It's great. But we'll kick it off to Manpreet, the man with the content creator for the MMA community. Manpreet, tell them where they can find you, what you have going on. I know you have a lot. Go ahead, sir.
At MMALOTN on all social media. 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Fight Day live chat, talking to the chat for an hour. So come through for that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I need to plug. I think we're good.
Awesome, man. Thank you to each and every one of you. You guys can find me at NarcoCop on Twitter. Sometimes I'm on Spaces with Shawn and Tim, and also the Lambo Place podcast, usually on Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today, we made it at 8 p.m. We'll see. Going forward, we don't know which one it's going to be, but it's either 8 or 9. Again, thank you, everybody, to chat. Thank you very much to my guests, and let's cash some tickets.